So my name's Alex Williams. I'm the Dean of Animation and Visual Effects at Escape Studios, and we get asked at Escape Studios a lot now about AI, particularly on open days, questions from prospective students, also parents saying, is AI going to replace people? Will robots be taking over the creative industries? And in effect, will there be jobs when a student graduates in 1, 2, 3, or 4 years' time? So this obviously is a tricky question. AI is an unfolding story. I don't have a crystal ball. Nobody at Escape Studios does. However, I think we can look back on history to give us a guide as to how things are likely to unfold. And I want to tell you a little story about being on the set of Who Framed Roger Rabbit back in 1987 in London, in Camden Town. I was an in-betweener at the time on that film. And I can very clearly remember someone coming up to me. I can't remember who it was, but someone came up to me and said, right, you guys are all going to be out of work soon. Right, very soon, all animators out of work. And I remember being terrified. Like, I'm going into this new job, I'm sweating it, I'm working all these late hours, and it's all going to be for nothing because we're all going to be out of work. And I remember saying, well, what is it? What is this thing that's going to put us all out of work? And the person said, motion capture. Remember, this was 1987. None of us had any idea what motion capture was. And this person said, it's amazing, these little dots, they put these dots on you, it syncs up to the computer does the animation for you, or the actor's motion feeds through, and that does the animation, and there's going to be no need for animators. And at that time, there were probably about 150 animators in the whole of London. We could fit in a pub on a Friday night in Soho and did regularly. Now, fast forward 30 years, what has happened to the animation industry? Have we all been put out of business, or has it, contrary-wise, exploded and become much, much bigger than it ever was in the 1980s? And of course, the latter is the case. And I think that's what does happen to these new technologies come along. 3D animation did the same thing. It didn't actually put all the 2D animators out of work. It did mean we had to learn new tools. But the folks, the 2D animators I used to work with back in the day, in the Disney days and DreamWorks days, they're all still working in the industry. They've just retrained. They're using different software, or they're storyboard artists, or they're directors. So, these big technological shifts, they do come along. This is probably the biggest one that I've seen. But my expectation, and the expectation of my colleagues, is that it will be a turbo boost for the industry. It will allow us to do more with less. It will allow us to work faster and smarter and more intelligently, but it will not be a substitute for human beings. So I think the threat of AI is, in my view, greatly exaggerated. And what we're doing at Escape Studios is essentially we're embracing AI. We're saying to the students, use it. I use it almost every day. I'm in ChatGPT for something or other. It's a very powerful tool. But what we say to the students is, don't pretend it's yours. If you create an image in Midjourney, don't pass it off as your own work. It isn't your own work. It was created by a machine. So you've got to say that. So at that point, it becomes more of a mood board or something of that nature, rather than work that you've actually created yourself. But as to the future, I don't see human beings being replaced by machines anytime soon. But what I do see is the machines being able to dramatically improve our productivity and enable us to do a lot more in a lot less time.